Extremist movie debate. Extremist movie debate. Extremist movie debate.
It's the Extremist movie debate. And tonight, we're talking 2016's The Invitation.
I am Joe.
I'm Ethan, and one of us is going to love it, one of us is going to hate it.
Let the coin decide their fate.
I love it.
I hate it. Hey guys, don't cult kill us. There's spoilers ahead.
It's good.
All right, this movie has an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, which makes it certified fresh. Joe, since you hate it, this first question is for you.
Terrible.
This comes from Blake Howard of Graffiti with Punctuation. I'm sorry. He says,
It's okay.
Karen Kusamas's The Invitation is a disturbing psychological thriller that will whip you into a state of paranoia with calculated manipulation of perspective. So my question to you is, how did the use of manipulation keep you guessing as to where the overall plot would go and keep you interested in the movie? You have 1 minute.
See, here's the issue. The movie is too calculated in the fact that, like, you're not surprised by anything. There's no manipulation because you, from the very start of it, you're like, I think I know where this is going. And as the movie goes on, you just keep being like, you keep being right. Like, you're just like, oh, like, this movie's going exactly where I think it's going. And then, like, in the first half an hour, 40 minutes, they sit down and they talk about how they're in a cult, and you're just like, of course they're in a fucking cult. Like, I thought they were in a cult, and some guy just lays out his entire history about how he beat his wife to death, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, like, these guys are gonna kill these people, and then guess what? The cult tries to kill all of the dinner guests. Like, it goes exactly where you think it is, so the manipulation, there is none, because everybody's so upfront about it, and it just essentially backs up all of your preconceived notions.
Okay, thank you. Ethan, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Okay, but all the cult slasher bit, that doesn't happen until the very end, and it's immensely satisfying because it it follows roughly 20 times where this guy is like, oh, God, no, it's a cult, don't do it. And then everybody's like, no, you're just grieving. You lost your kid, your wife left you, your wife tried to commit suicide. Like, you're just really sad, and you don't know how to deal with grief. And he's like, oh, I don't know how to deal with grief. You're right, this is really hard. And then you reflect, like, God, everybody deals with grief really hard, man. And then all of a sudden, another cult thing happens. He finds some barbiturates. He's like, oh, it's a cult!
Thank you, Ethan. I'm going to have to stop you there. Joe, you have 15 seconds to respond.
Yeah, I mean, you brought the dead kid up, but there's like 3 mentions of the dead kid the entire time. There's nothing there. So, I mean, it's just sort of like just tacked on to be like, this movie has depth, but it doesn't have any depth. It's just predictable and boring.
Okay, thank you. Ethan, go ahead.
And the whole movie is about this guy dealing with his failed marriage, his failed family, where his kid is dead and his wife tried to kill himself and he hasn't, or kill herself, and he hasn't dealt with it at all. And this movie is dealing with that, with these people that are in a cult, but it's also mostly about this guy trying to come to terms with his broken home family.
About a cult.
Thank you, Ethan. This next question is for you. This comes from Renee Rodriguez of Miami.com. Renee says, The Invitation wants to comment on the different ways people deal with irreparable grief, but the picture is hard to take seriously because the actors can't sell the illusion of being old friends. So, I mean, how do you feel about the acting in the movie? Did you feel there was some naturalness to it, or?
Phenomenal. It was great. It's just, one by one, they take him aside and they talk to him about their past on the staircase, on the couch, the corner of the room. It's great because you have all these characters that are all distinct from each other and they all have very, very deep backgrounds and they're all talking one-on-one with him about their histories. You know that they're friends because they're talking about their histories with each other. And then they even all sit down to play that game like, what do I want? And he says, I want some of that sweet Coke you used to have. And all of a sudden we know that host used to do a lot of Coke. And that's really cool. And you know what? He gives it to them because he loves them.
Okay, Joe, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the issue. This movie should be a short film, but there's just so much scene chewing that it doesn't actually go anywhere. It's just like this meandering movie that should be over in the matter of 25 minutes, but it just gets elongated by people standing on there just being like, I want some Coke. Do you have any Coke? Oh, I think I might have some Coke. Okay, well, maybe we can go get some Coke. Oh, let's do some Coke.
Okay, thank you. Ethan, you have 15 seconds to
You
respond.
can complain about that, but when you have Rivera saying that, I didn't buy that they were friends, that I didn't think that there was depth. There's your depth. There's the proof that they're friends. There's their history.
She was talking about the acting, not the script.
Well, the acting is great, and I think it comes down to, are these bland LA characters? And the answer is no.
You didn't talk at all about like the acting ability or the skill of the actors. You just yammered on about the script.
They're all great.
No, he did comment on the acting too.
you,
And also,
unpaid internship.
Joe, once again, I never specified the gender of the reviewer, and Renee Rodriguez is actually a man, so.
Oh, sexist.
2 for 2 on mixing people up.
My bad.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
anyway, we're going to move on to the open floor section, and you guys have 4 minutes to discuss. And go.
So you thought it was boring that they weren't developed at all? Mm-hmm. You
No,
thought the
because-
acting was bad?
There was no development. It's just you have to take everything at face value. But this movie is supposed to be about the
boom,
manipulation.
creepy priest
and
guy in the corner,
and
Drew Carey's brother. You
and
got
altering.
boom, wife that tried to kill herself, who's now part of a cult and super weirdly happy all the time. You've got the other guy who's really just got his thumb on her, is really just keeping her down. But he's like, oh no, I love her. It's great. We're in this together. Even though he super got her to join a cult.
So the movie is supposed to be about these unreliable characters. But then we're supposed to take everything at face value.
At no point did
But
we.
at
no point are these
at the same
unreliable
time,
characters.
all of them.
How are they unreliable characters?
That's the issue.
We have one main
that's what
character
the premise
that
is
we
based.
think
The
is reading into a
premise-
situation too
Ethan.
far, and then we find out, no, he's
Ethan.
actually just grieving, and then all of a sudden, nope, he's right.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Everybody
the
else
movie starts
is
out,
going along for the ride because they're old friends.
The premise of it is, the hosts of this movie are unreliable, but then like 30 minutes in, they sit down and they just put all their
Never
all
are
their
they
cards
unreliable.
on
They're
their
a little bit off. Why is the door locked? Why are there all the windows barred up? Why are there barbiturates in the drawer? Yeah, there are red flags, but they're never unreliable. They explain everything. They even go out of their way to pull him aside into a room and be like, "Look, man, I think like you're taking our hosting for granted. Like we're trying to be super nice to you. We're welcoming you into our home, and you're just calling us fucking cult murderer people."
Which they are, and we see that coming. 'cause
But
the
he's
movie is
being
predictable.
rude because he's not
okay.
grieving properly. In that moment, he doesn't know that they are, and you know what? The
I
host
think
is
he
right. The
does.
host is
He's-
right.
he's
He
a
is
paranoid-
being
and
super rude
all this movie
to
does,
these cult murderers.
All this movie does is inject society with more paranoia, and that's the issue. Is like, can't we all just like try to look at the best of each other? Instead, we're always on guard because of movies like this. This movie's perpetuating the idea.
Are you saying cult murderers don't exist?
They do exist, but now every time anybody goes to a fucking dinner party, they're gonna be like, are these cult murders or am I gonna get murdered? And they're gonna go
Look, I mean, if
wary
I see
with
bars
their
on the
guards
window of
up.
your house and I see you lock the door from the inside and hide the key, yeah, I might think that. I'm sorry.
It's for safety, Ethan.
Okay, great, wonderful. You can tell me that, but I still think you might murder me. That's fine. But if you don't do that, I'm not going to be on guard. If
Okay.
I see 11 easy exits, I'll be okay.
So you're the hollowed, empty-brained man that this movie was looking for.
Look, I mean,
Who
our
just sits
most
down
primal
and just-
instinct is to
and
survive.
You just watch the
If we
words.
can't tap
you
into
just
that,
watch the
what
words
are we?
Run at you, and you just take them all, and you go,
Calling us all
okay.
spineless
Taking
amoebas,
all
all
the
right? Just because we
words.
want to live, you're saying this movie sucks. I don't get it.
It does suck.
Okay, well, I'm going to cut you guys off there, and let's talk about how you actually feel.
This movie fucking
I
sucks.
loved this movie. This movie's great. No, this movie's
That was a
great.
wet fart.
You're good, Adam.
Everything I said, but not sarcastic. This movie.
Yeah, you were supposed to actually love this movie, and all
I
you
did
was
love this movie. I
all you
supported
did
this-
was
I
all you
supported
did was
this
shit all
movie.
over it for 15 minutes.
Oh man, I supported this movie wholeheartedly. Just like this movie made it seem like they weren't cult murderers wholeheartedly. I put in as much effort as this movie did to make us think from the beginning that he wasn't in a cult murder situation.
No, you knew that. You always
You
knew that.
absolutely knew that. You knew that, like the audience watching Die Hard knew what was going on inside the building, but the movie is the stupid fucking cop sitting on the outside thinking that he's fucking everything up on the inside. It's the cop sitting out there making John McClane feel like he's useless. This movie's constantly making you second guess. Oh, maybe it's grief, maybe it's not. No, he's in a fucking cult murder situation, and then there's the one moment in this movie, like 2/3 of the way through, where he's like, oh my god, I really don't know how to grieve. And if this movie took that turn and it was all about, oh, we had this painfully obvious cult murder situation, and in fact, it fucked with our heads, and it was all just this guy was being hyper paranoid and could not deal with the death of his family, that would have been fucking amazing. Instead, slasher movie for 20 minutes, it's exactly what you thought it was. Fuck you, audience.
No, see, all of that, like the guy can't deal with his grief, so you have that. That's layered. So this movie's layering, and on top of that,
It's in there, but don't go into it.
Ethan, hold on. You already had your 10 minutes
Fair
to
enough.
yammer on. So here's the issue. So when you're looking at somebody grieving, or you're looking at somebody's problem, you know what the solution should be. Yes. Better than you are when you're going through a similar situation?
Oh, God, no. I don't know how to
okay.
deal with people who are grieving. That's,
Well, no, not
that's the
grief.
hardest thing to empathize with.
I'm not even necessarily saying grief, like just issues, like problems, situations. Like you as an outside observer, as an objective observer, can give somebody better advice than they can give themselves because they're too close to the situation.
No way, that's
And that's
mansplaining.
essentially Oh my god. So that's essentially what's happening in this movie, is we're watching somebody essentially slow fall. Like when somebody slow falls, they slowly fall over, and you have so many like opportunities to help them, but you think they're going to recover on their own, and then they eventually just fall over and you feel like an asshole. That's essentially what this movie's doing, is we know exactly where it's going, and that's kind of part of the terror, is that he's so fucked up in the head that you can't shout into the movie and get him to realize that he's right. And that's the frustration with the movie.
Okay, but then how do you explain the rest of the characters not figuring out? There's like 20 other people in this house that have not figured it the fuck out.
Too trusting? And they're not the main characters on top of that.
I know, but it's unrealistic. Like, if you're trying to set up this environment where we're supposed to believe that this guy is just paranoid and he's just slow falling, but we have these other characters.
You have a character leaving the house, and you have characters like talking about how weird it is.
Pam is her name, because she's just Pam on The Office. She leaves the house and she is smart.
And she gets murdered, by the way. She's dead.
We don't know that for certain.
No, she's deader than hell.
We do not know that for certain.
100% dead.
I think he looks out the window and he sees her helping her car, and he moves the car, and I think she goes on her way.
I think she's dead as shit.
I don't think that's in the movie.
I definitely think it's in the movie.
And if that's the only thing we have to ponder in this movie, fuck that movie.
And on top of that, that's not the only thing we have to ponder. Because I think this is...
Everything else is laid flat out.
I mean, it's laid out, but I think...
Via either flashbacks or not subtle introductions.
There are
a lot of flashbacks in this movie.
Flashbacks. And on top of that...
With gratuitous nudity.
The grief, like, you know what happened to his son, but it's never explicitly told to the audience. Like, it's all shown through visuals, because it's a visual medium, which is what film is.
He, like, falls over or something at a barbecue.
No, a kid hits him in the head with a bat. Watch the fucking movie. Jesus Christ, Ethan.
So it's like the slap?
Yeah, it's like the slap, except for his son died. Cool, dude.
That would have been a great ending for the slap.
Making fun of some dude's son dying. That's fine.
A fictional character, yes.
That's fine.
And a shitty movie, yes.
I think you are showing your colors.
That's fine. I could live with that. I'm good.
What would you guys rate the movie?
I'll give this movie 8 out of 10. A little bit under.
4, no thunder.
All right, perfect.
All right, you can go ahead and comment below, subscribe to the channel. We nailed it. Let us know what you guys thought, if I'm right, and comment below if you wanted to have us talk about a future movie, got a request, and go ahead and comment below any questions you might have for said movie. Unpaid intern Jeff will read them on the episode, and we'll debate them. Otherwise, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you and good night.